There are 3 major reasons why you need to seriously consider buying a huge chunk of NIO stock right now. I'll give you all the facts, I'll give you some of my opinion, and then you get to decide what you ultimately want to do regarding whatever stock or investment I'm talking about. Alright, so on to NIO stock. It's been performing pretty well over the past few months, but it is still not up to its high about 6 months ago. Now honestly, this is pretty odd because NIO and NIO News has been pretty good over the past 6 months. Most analysts are very bullish on the stock, and NIO as a company has been performing pretty well. But regardless of whatever the past 6 months has brought NIO stock, I do think that NIO as a company has a good solid core foundation, and it will be a great company in the future for electric vehicles. Again, I've said this before last year and I'll say it again this year. Right now NIO stock is undervalued. This is almost like Tesla was in its beginning stages. Now yes, we are a little bit past the beginning stages of NIO. Now remember, they aren't a global brand yet. They're in China mainly, and then they have some cars in Norway. But look, the very first reason why I think NIO stock and NIO as a company is a good buy is its battery swap stations. Now many of you may have already known about the battery swap stations, but NIO has just partnered with another company in China to plan to build 5,000 of these battery swap stations by 2025. Now BaaS, or Battery as a Service, is one of NIO's core components of their business. Tesla actually tried to do the whole battery swap scenario back in the day, and it really didn't work out for them, but NIO has actually had it succeed in China. The battery swap stations are really good for people living in condensed areas, apartments, high-rises, stuff of that nature where they can't have a charger at their home. Now this is a real reason why a lot of people don't buy electric vehicles, myself included, because I don't have a dedicated garage where I can install a charging system. Now Tesla in the United States has done this obviously very well with superchargers. They're basically everywhere now, but battery swap stations in China are a bit different. Customers of NIO can actually buy a car without the battery, hence battery as a service. So basically it's something where you need your battery recharged, you'll go to one of these stations and it'll swap out. It's almost like you're kind of leasing or renting the battery. So that makes the cost of the car up front cheaper. So battery swapping, a good solution, 1, making the cars cheaper, and 2, allowing people that usually wouldn't have an electric vehicle to purchase one without the worry of needing to charge their car. Again, that's 5,000 battery swap stations by 2025. Currently, they only have about 500. Now, before we go over my second reason on why I like NIO and I think it is a great buy right now, let me just go over some delivery numbers for you in the month of June. In June, NIO had a reported increase of deliveries by 20%. Now that's a pretty big bump. The stock price actually bumped up a little bit, but then it did come back down to around $45 a share. Now, as you can imagine, this is all due to NIO being a Chinese company. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end if you're interested, but on to reason number 2, why I think NIO is a great buy right now. And this reason is NIO Park. Now NIO Park, spelled N-E-O Park, not N-I-O, is actually kind of like an electric vehicle industry park for a bunch of different EV manufacturers. Now NIO is going to be the largest part of this big collective. Here's why this is so exciting. So this NIO Park is supposed to bring around 10,000 R&D personnel and 40,000 technical personnel. The production capacity of NIO Park will be 1 million cars a year. Now because of all this, NIO itself will have a dedicated manufacturing facility, which they really haven't had before. This will allow them to ramp up production tenfold. Now NIO Park will also advance technology because of all these different entities coming together for one common goal of making EVs better and more technologically advanced. Let me step back 1 second and talk about battery as a service again. There has been recent news saying NIO has actually come out and said that their new battery swap stations will be able to be used by other EV manufacturers. Now again, this is kind of like reason 1A why I think NIO will be great in the future. If everyone else can use these charging stations for a fee, it'll build NIO's brand, and honestly, if Tesla were to do this with their supercharging stations, I don't think we would see a large decrease in Tesla's sales. NIO is really banking on the fact that everyone will see this and they'll say, oh, I can buy any EV, but I mean, might as well be NIO, right? They're doing all this battery swap station stations. It's their technology, and I might as well just buy one of their cars to charge it at these charging stations. As a matter of fact, Ford is actually using NIO's infrastructure in China right now. Okay, so we have number 1, battery swap stations, number 2, NIO Park, number 3, the third reason why I think NIO as a company and NIO stock are a good buy right now is because of the business that NIO has with Norway and how that could be a gateway to European sales. Now, as of last year, NIO delivered cars to Norway. Norway is basically the one country in the world that is on the leading edge of electric vehicles. They aim to have 100% of all vehicles on the road by 2025 be electric. NIO claims that by this year's end, there will be a NIO showroom in Oslo, Norway. This would mark the first physical presence of NIO in another country other than China. And I can see this as a great place for them to start expanding out into the European region. Countries like Sweden, Germany, England, all of them love EVs, and I could see NIO just pivoting right from Norway. They do also plan on deploying battery swap stations to Norway, but they're also going to have conventional chargers as well. Now, we will see how this goes. It honestly could turn out bad, but I can really tell that I think NIO will be successful in Norway, and that'll lead to them having success globally. Okay, so besides those 3 reasons, and I do think those 3 reasons are my core beliefs on NIO and why I think they'll be successful, but there are other things about NIO as a company that should definitely help NIO stock. The main one is their actual design and technology of their cars. Much like Tesla, the technology in NIO cars is pretty advanced. They have a good system while driving the car. They have an intelligent cockpit designed by Qualcomm, and they have other autonomous driving features. The technology's good, and the cars just look good. I know that some people actually prefer the look of NIO's lineup of cars over Tesla. They were honestly the first EV manufacturer to say, hey, we're gonna make our cars look good and not look like one of these weird futuristic Priuses. So those are all of my reasons why I'm big on NIO right now, but there is the one looming risk, and that is NIO is a Chinese company. For starters, investing in Chinese stocks is definitely more risky than regular US stocks. China is definitely not like the US. They are not as free with their companies and things like that. At the snap of a finger, they could literally go and say, hey, NIO, you guys need to stop making cars right now. They basically did this with a company called Didi. They made it take down 25 of its apps. Now, regulatory blowback by the Chinese government on a Chinese company could happen at any time, and I see that as a big risk with NIO stock. I think that's the number 1 reason why NIO stock has not exploded yet in 2021. People are really just worried about investing in NIO, investing in other Chinese stocks like Alibaba. But regardless, I think they will overcome, and having NIO succeed is good for the Chinese government, so I don't think you'll see any weird restrictions on NIO by the government. Let me know what you think down below in the comments about NIO and NIO stock. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, facts only. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.